All right, good afternoon, everyone. Let me change my name here real quick because I am not Andrea Leonard. We're going to get rolling. We're doing secrets to successful studios today. And this is actually one of my more favorite sessions, and it's the one that nobody ever attends. So I'm glad you're here. It's sort of disappointing to me that people don't typically want to learn about the business side of things, but they always want to learn about the functional training stuff and the high-tech stuff and how to do a push-up 9 different ways, but not always 9 different ways to get clients to show up to do those push-ups. So I always say all of it's important. We need to be great trainers. We need to have great skills, but if we don't know how to market and run a successful business, it really doesn't matter if you have 9 certifications behind you. In the end, we want thousands of functional aging specialists and cancer exercise specialists working with thousands of clients. Doesn't do any good for us to have all these certified trainers, but they don't have any clients. So I've given this session a couple of times. If you have seen this before, I'd love to know. If you've never seen it before, I hope you're in for a treat. I do want to make this interactive. I'm not sure Andrew has joined us at all, so I will do my best to monitor the Q&A box as well as the chat box. Feel free to use either one. So good morning to you, Wendy, as well. It would be helpful for me to know, so feel free to type in either the Q&A or the chat if you're a business owner or if you hope to be a business owner in the next 6 months. And business owner can look a lot of different ways. So that does not mean you have to have a brick and mortar studio. Your studio could be online. Your studio could be in your garage. Your studio could be in a community center. It could be in a 5,000 square foot personal training studio. So they can look a lot of different ways as we're talking about business. So I do want you to keep that in mind as well. So. All right, Nathan, not a business owner yet, but hope to be within the next 6 months. Allison, business owner, outdoor, online, awesome. Business owner, 7-year business owner, both brick and online, great. Nicole, business owner, awesome, great. So I hope I'm going to give you guys some helpful tools and tips today. We're not going to be talking about training at all. We're going to be talking about the business side of things. So I always like to start with a story. How hard could it be, right? Well, really the question is how hard could it be to be successful? Because lots of people have run fitness businesses, lots of people have run health clubs, fitness studios, personal training clubs, yoga studios, Pilates studios, but never really been that successful with it. In fact, many people have barely broken even. It's sort of been a hobby passion of theirs, not their primary livelihood. Big difference for me is it has really had to be my primary livelihood, and then even birthed the Functional Aging Institute out of my training studio because more and more people wanted to learn what we were doing. People basically started coming to us saying, how are you training people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s in the middle of the day and having your facility full? How is it that your business grew during one of the worst recessions in the last 50 years? There must be something unique you're doing, because the fitness industry took it pretty hard from 2008 to about 2011, and our business grew month over month, year over year. It grew during that time. In fact, in 2010, we tripled our prices. We no longer sold health club membership, so our lowest price of $49 a month, our lowest price became $149 a month during the height of the recession, and our revenue grew substantially, and we really never looked back. So the question really is, how hard is it to be successful at this? And so I share the story of Dina, one of my first and favorite coaching clients. Dina started Active Age Fitness in, I believe, 2015, maybe 2014. Early on in Functional Aging Institute's history, she bought basically a Curves knockoff type gym, Ladies Circuit Fitness. She bought a circuit gym, about 1,200 square feet. It was women only. She had about 100 customers. Now, I want you to get out a piece of paper here, or you can get out the workbook that Andrea gave you, and let's just do a little math. So she had 100 customers paying her $35 a month. So $3,500 a month was her total revenue. Now, most of us realize pretty quickly that's really not a sizable income, certainly not going to pay her bills, let alone cover her rent, insurance, and overhead. She was barely breaking even. She was only in 1,200 square feet, but I think her rent was about $3,000 a month. She was in California. So she basically is wondering, how can I fix this? And I said, well, we probably have to start with basically blowing your business up and firing all of your clients, to which she responded, aren't you supposed to be helping me? You're supposed to be coaching me. I said, well, yeah, you don't really want any more of these customers, do you? And that sort of made her scratch her head. And then we just crunched the numbers. I said, well, what if we double your customers to 200? She's like, oh, well, that would be terrible. That would be just awful. Now I'd have 200 of them and I'd only be making $7,000 a month, and it would be twice as hard and I still wouldn't be making enough. I said, exactly, that's the problem. So we need to really restart your business completely. And so before we fired her 100 customers, we got 20 personal training clients at $200 a month. 20 personal training clients at $200 a month. That's $4,000 a month. Now she had the revenue to replace those 100 customers. Now, she didn't fire them. I'm not an advocate of just kicking people out. What she did was she offered all of them to stay as personal training clients at half price because they had been longtime loyal customers. She offered all of them to stay at just $99 a month, and I believe only 3 took her up on it. The other 97 went elsewhere looking for that Curves style of gym. Fast forward a couple of years, she's now over 100 clients and doing over $30,000 a month in revenue. And so you quickly realize she had to change business models if she really wanted to be successful. Again, how hard could it be? Well, it really wasn't that hard. It just was looking at, what do you really want your business to look like? And she wanted to be doing functional fitness. She wanted to rebrand Active Age Fitness, and she wanted to focus on functional aging training and have all her trainers be functional aging specialists and functional movement screen trained, and really know how to train people well. And so because of that, she was going to be charging $250 to $350 a month. And so now her 100+ clients make her business profitable. So we have to think about, what we want to charge, what's reasonable, what makes sense, how can we be profitable and sustainable. That has to be foundational before we do anything. Now, Andrea is messaging me to go live on Facebook. I have to do more technical things than I could probably handle. So we have to get out of this mentality of sort of the, if you build it, they will come. That's a big mistake people make, right? We think, oh, well, if I create this place, then people will just, they'll just come. We made that mistake here at Miracles Fitness. We thought, well, we'll be the only place in town that's offering a health club and personal training service to boomers and seniors. It's just not the case. People will just not come. I know my screen sharing's probably paused for just a second. Bear with me while I load this up on Facebook as well. So we're live there. All right, can you all see my screen again? We'll resume where I left off here. All right, good deal. Come on, here we go. All right, if you build it, they will come. Right, that's just a huge mistake. We built Miracles Fitness in a prominent part of town, a highly trafficked strip mall right in the heart of West Lafayette. People still didn't know we were there. People that I knew should have known we were there didn't know we were there. So you can't just rely on, oh, I opened a place so people will just come. You would be better off opening your studio in your own garage and figuring out how to market it than paying thousands of dollars to have a high profile place. If you build it, they're not necessarily going to even know you exist. So make sure that's not your strategy first and foremost. In fact, I recommend most fitness businesses do not overpay for the most expensive, high visible location. because you won't be able to overcome that rent cost. It's far easier to market, email market, get referrals, build referral strategies than it is to pay to be in the most expensive corner location. Key tactics to launch with clients: stop relying on word of mouth. You have to build it. That's a big mistake we make in the fitness industry. And I hear lots of experts and trainers that I like and fitness professionals that have built a good business. And you'll hear some that are super successful and they're 10 years at it and they're like, oh, I rely on referrals. Well, that's great when your business is 10 years old and you've built a well-known established business and you have hundreds of clients that refer to you and you've built a culture of word of mouth. It's not a great strategy starting out from scratch. So if you're looking to open or even kickstart your business, you can't just rely on word of mouth. You have to build it. We're going to talk about some strategies for that. Let's be honest. This is not necessarily a fun conversation, but the reality is the vast majority of our personal training clients don't think that much about us the other 23 hours of the day. And that's assuming they train with you 1 hour, 7 days a week, which most of them don't. Most of our clients train with us 2 or 3 times a week, anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes. The rest of the week, they're not thinking that much about us. They're just not. They might read some of our emails, they might comment on some of our Facebook posts, but they're certainly not going out to lunch and all they're talking about is their trainer. It's just not the case. I hate to break it to you. I know we think we're super important, but it's just not the reality of what our clients are doing. And so for us to think that they're going to tell all their friends, all their colleagues, all their neighbors, their relatives about us, it's just not the case. It's not happening. And so we have to foster and create opportunities for them to spread the word. We have to create some events. We have to do some giveaways. We have to teach them how to refer. In some cases, people are embarrassed to even tell people they have a personal trainer. And I think sometimes we don't even think about that, especially for people who maybe haven't got the results they hoped or they haven't lost the weight they hoped they would. It's sort of hard for them to tell someone, well, I have a personal trainer, you should train with them too. In fact, that can be sort of an awkward conversation, right? It's sort of like you're telling somebody, hey, you're fat and out of shape, you should come work with my trainer. So it's not the easiest referral, like telling someone about the greatest restaurant you ever found, right? Like nobody's insulted when you tell them like, oh my goodness, you have got to try this kimchi place. I was there for takeout Korean today. It was absolutely unbelievable. Nobody's really going to get offended by that, except unless maybe another Korean restaurant owner, right? So fitness is a little bit more delicate of a referral. So we have to build word of mouth strategies. Oops. Hold on one second. Sorry, I forgot. I can't look at the Q&A and scroll through my slides. So don't try to reinvent the wheel, beg, borrow, and model others. I'm totally cool with you modeling everything we've done at Miracles Fitness. That's why we give you everything we've done in this book. And I've given this to you. I'll give it to you again today. 64 pages, folks. You can read this probably in an hour. There's strategies in here that we've built Miracles Fitness. Beg, borrow, and steal from others. I mentioned Dina at Active Age Fitness. Go follow her on Facebook. Paul Holbrook, Age Performance. Andrea Leonard has a host of studios that she works with. Beg, borrow, and model others. Don't try to create from scratch, right? Make sure you're borrowing concepts that are proven to work, you know are going to be successful. Don't feel like you have to invent everything. There are successful studios out there, so model those. Build a list, build a following. I'm hearing now I'm not supposed to be saying build a tribe anymore, even though everyone in marketing uses that. Build a list, build a following. You have to be building lists. Now I want you to write down right now all the different lists you can be building, because sometimes people think, oh, well, I have a phone call list. Well, that's great. That's not enough. So phone call list, texting list. Those are two different lists. Some people we can call. Some people we can call and text. Email list, Facebook list. How many Facebook fans do you have? Instagram following. There's probably more, but those would be the 5. YouTube subscribers. Sorry, you should have YouTube subscribers as well. Those are all your lists. Those are all your following. So you need to be building every single one of those. Now, some of those you're going to focus more on than others. Some of you are going to be better at email. Some are going to be better at text. Some of you are going to be really, really good at YouTube. and you're going to build thousands of YouTube subscribers. Great. Some of you are going to be like, I'm never doing video. I don't want to do YouTube. So then scratch that one off your list. Be good at Facebook and email and the others. Read books, read books, read books. So I certainly recommend my book. Here's the other one I recommend. Actually, I'm going to give you two. So there's two on the screen that I highly recommend. So the No BS Marketing Series book, here it is. You guys can see that. No BS Marketing to Boomers and Seniors. The Ultimate No Holds Barred, Take No Prisoners Roadmap to the Money. So these are marketing strategies, marketing approaches to reach out to boomers and seniors. Now, there are other No BS marketing books. The top two that I recommend in addition to this one are No BS Marketing to the Affluent. You want affluent clients. You absolutely do. You want clients that can afford your service. You should not be shy about marketing to the affluent. You can solve a serious problem for them, and that is investing in their health, their wellness, and their fitness. They have done a good job investing in their financial health. You need to help them with their physical health. So No BS Marketing to the Affluent, and then No BS Grassroots Marketing. It's all sorts of free strategies, how to partner with other local businesses, coupons, all sorts of stuff. So those are the three books by Dan Kennedy that I recommend. There's probably 12 of them, so make sure when you're searching on Amazon, you pay attention to which ones you get. 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. One of the reasons so many fitness businesses fail, it's not because it wasn't led by a great trainer. It's because it wasn't led by a great leader. You can be the most fantastic trainer, tactician, technician, absolutely phenomenal trainer, but you're not a good leader, and the business is going to fail because of that. So 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by Maxwell. I have Developing the Leader Within You is sitting here on my desk as well by Maxwell. I happen to like Maxwell's writing and speaking. And if right now you're like, oh, I'm not really a reader, then go find some of Maxwell's talks on leadership. He has several on YouTube and other channels. Here's Developing the Leader Within You. I've seen Maxwell speak at a couple different conferences, and I just happen to like his leadership approach. And here's the other book, The Hour a Day Entrepreneur. Really, really like this book. Probably applicable for many of you, especially if you're thinking about opening a business, launching a business, if you're thinking about launching an online training business. The Hour a Day Entrepreneur. We built the Functional Aging Institute into a company that now has impacted over 5,000 trainers, now has trainers certified in over 21 countries. I noticed we just added Brazil. So we're in every continent, to my knowledge. Yeah, we're in every continent now except for Antarctica. Don't know that we're going to get that one. So I will say we're 6 out of 6 continents. We did that in 1 hour a day. We followed the principles in that book, 1 hour a day entrepreneur. You can do a tremendous amount in 1 hour a day. All right, I see some questions coming in. Michelle, considering being a business owner, working gym, but training under the table with COVID, got it, focused on solo trainers. Beth, definitely, I'm talking about solo trainers really the whole time here. So Stephanie, there's a workbook. When I say workbook, it's really just like a Word doc in the Facebook group. Stephanie, there's about a 5-page document that Andrea created that goes through all these webinars. So you can take notes, you can answer some of the questions, those sorts of things. So Shelly, I'll have my contact info at the end. For any of you asking about contact, if you have questions, contact@functionalaginginstitute.com is the best way to contact us at FAI. Andrea has a similar contact. I can't remember what it is offhand, but contact@functionalaginginstitute.com to answer questions about the functional aging specialist, recertification, those sorts of things. So, all right, I think I got all the questions in the Q&A for now. I'll check the chat in just a minute. So how do we build a list? So I said phone call list, email list, text list, YouTube subscribers, Facebook, Instagram. How do we build that list? How do we create more word of mouth? Well, the first thing we have to do is really talk about who do we want on our list. Huge mistake would be for you to say, well, I want to train women 55 to 70, and then you build a list that's all men, right? Like, well, wait a minute, that's not going to work. I have all these men on my list that keep inquiring to train, and I'm a female-only facility. That's not going to work. So who do you want on your list? Everyone? No. Anyone? No. Who's your avatar? Avatar is your ideal, dream, perfect client, right? Someone that values what you do, is willing to pay for what you do, needs your service, lines up with really who you want to train. Now, some of you might be saying, you know, I really want to train more of the lower functioning, frail elder. Some of you are saying, I want to train cancer survivors. Some of you are saying, I want to train people going through cancer and stroke recovery and medical issues. That's great. That's a slightly different clientele than someone who says, I want to train 50 and 60-year-olds who are really healthy and vital and haven't had any major health issues and help them prevent ever having any of those. So who do you really want to train? I want you to think about that. And I want you to start taking some notes based on, well, who really is my ideal client? Is it a he? Is it a she? Does that matter? Does gender even matter? Can they be male, female? What's their age? Where do they live? What's their primary goals? Are they grandparents? Not grandparents yet? Empty nesters? Retired? Right? So what story are you telling to attract these clients? And the reason we have to know sort of who the best clients are is so that we can tell the right story, right? If I tell a story of the 80-year-old with Parkinson's that could barely walk a block, well, that story is probably not going to appeal to the 58-year-old male golfer who wants to stay at the highest functional level, right? That story is going to be a disconnect. He's going to go, well, that might be a good fit for my mom, right? So we have to make sure we're telling the right stories. Now, we might need to be able to tell a variety of stories, right? Because we're going to have some clients in their 80s and some clients in their 50s. So we have to share client success stories. Now, if you're just starting out and you're saying, I don't have any clients, well, then obviously we got to start with client number one. That's where you would begin, and you start to focus on who do you want that first client to be and what do you want them to look like? What sort of health issues do you want to work with? But if you have clients, if you're already a business owner, you should have anywhere from 5 to 10 client success stories. And you want most of them to be focused around your ideal client. You want to create stars of them. We have made Lance and Sue and Terry absolute stars at our facility. Let's see if I have it here. Here she is. So here's Terry on the cover of my book, right? That's Terry Smith. I think at the time we took this picture, she was 58 years old. I knew she was a woman that women in their 50s could identify with, but also women in their 60s could absolutely identify with. Even women in their 70s would not be intimidated by her. So we put her on the cover of my book because we primarily go after women in their 60s, and we have created an absolute star out of her. We've given out over 2,000 of these books in our market. We've put her up on Facebook ads. We've put up Facebook ads to get a free copy of this book. We have made her a star. And then, of course, we offer a solution, right? People see the stories. They're like, oh, man, Terry Smith's story is so amazing. Lance is so inspiring. When Lance said, I'm fitter at 75 than I was at 70. This is the reverse of the way it should be. I heard that story, and that resonated with me, right? And I was like, I want to be like Lance. I'm in my 70s, or I'm 68, and I'm feeling like I'm not excited about what 75 is going to look like. And Lance just said 75 is better than 65. So we want to make sure we offer a solution based on our client success stories. We also want to make sure that we're a positive aging paradigm. You could even add to that a positive health paradigm, a wellness paradigm, right? So someone's recovering from cancer or a knee replacement or a major health incident, you know, a heart attack, a triple bypass. There's so many different health events people can have in their 50s, 60s, 70s. Are they seeing positive aging messages? Are they hearing you say over and over and over, we're helping our clients do amazing things no matter what their age. We're helping our clients do amazing things no matter what their health conditions, no matter what their health challenges. Just like Banana George Blair, I don't wait for the next thing to happen to me. I make it happen, right? Dr. Charles Euster has so many quotes, but one of his favorite of mine is, We've confused illness with the process of aging, which can be thoroughly healthy, right? We have to be communicating that over and over and over. We want our market, our community, our clients to be champions of that, telling their friends, what are you talking about? Why are you buying into this concept that to grow older means to slow down or to be weaker or to be sicker? I don't believe that, and my trainer certainly does not believe that. So who are our ideal clients? For us at Miracles Fitness, it's a 60-year-old woman. She's affluent, she's educated, she lives within a reasonable proximity to our facility. She's working, retired, and everything in between. For us, in most cases, she's semi-retired or retired. Those tend to be the best clients for us. Now, that might not be true for your market. You might find that working is better. You might find fully retired is better. In fact, getting into that 65 plus age range where they're fully retired is better. And you'll find people aren't retiring at 65, 66 anymore. They're still working, or they're retired and as busy as ever. That's sort of the everything in between category. So there's a wide range of what these women in their 60s can look like. Some are going to come individually, some are going to come and drag their spouse along, some are going to come as a couple. I think the most powerful market segment in North America for sure are boomer women. They're still largely misunderstood. They're still largely mismarketed to completely. The concept of older is a mistake when you're marketing to women in their 60s. They don't think of themselves as older, most of them. In fact, they realize they're in the prime of their lives, and this is a new and exciting stage for them. In fact, this is a time of their life they start to get to define what's going to happen and how it's going to go. They're, in almost all cases, long since done raising children, especially boomer women 60 plus. There are a few boomer women 55 to 60 that might still be raising or finishing up some, high school, college kids. But for most boomer women 60 to 73, they're past that, right? They're no longer being dictated to by the high school calendar and high school graduation and, oh, it's time for, taking my kid to college. Those things are past. And so this is a completely new, exciting stage. And they're redefining what it means to be a mature woman. They absolutely are redefining that. They are not embracing growing older the way their mom did. In fact, they're taking it on in a whole new way, in so many different ways, which is cool and exciting. It really, really is. In fact, we can see this politically. 4 years ago, we had a woman, baby boomer woman running for president, something that women in the boomer age range had never seen in their lifetime. And when I say running for president, I mean actually the nominee, like on the ballot in November. And of course, this November, we have a woman as vice president. So it's changing quite a bit from what it was like for their moms. And so we have to be aware of this. Grandmothers, of course, are a huge segment of the boomer female population. And of course, we have grandfathers as well. But I think the grandmothers are huge because they want to do grandparenting different than their moms and their grandmothers did. They want to be much more engaged. They want to have a huge emotional connection. They want to be a part of their lives. They want to do things and experience things with them. They don't want to just be at the birthday party, but they want to be participating in events and traveling and doing things with their grandchildren. They want to be much more physically active grandparents. And so that's a huge thing when we think about marketing. We think about how do we connect with people. And I think one of the big mistakes we make is we think, oh, people are doing this for their grandkids. Stop thinking that way. Most of us don't do things in a lot of cases, especially fitness related. We don't do it for other people. We do it for ourselves, right? We might say we're losing weight, to be more attractive to our spouse or a significant other or whatever it is. But in most cases, we're losing weight because we want to feel better about ourselves. We want to improve our own health. We want to be the best grandparents we can be. So I'm not just doing this because I want to be better for my grandkids. I'm doing it because I want to be an absolute all-star, rock star grandparent, right? I want to have the energy to do all the things I want to do. Couples are a huge, huge segment. I'll let you read that while I check the chat. There's a bunch of folks chatting here. Sorry, you got to go, Anita. Yep, we're recording it. Yep, Maxwell is really good. Can you share the ebook again? I will. I won't put that up. All right, not seeing any questions I got to address just right now. So typically, now this is totally individual. You might say, I want to primarily focus on golfers, and you might find you're most successful with men, and then the men get you their spouse. That's totally fine, right? You might find you're most successful getting tennis players, and the tennis club you're connected with has more male clients than female. Or the men seem to respond to the training because they're not moving as well on the court, and the men get you the women. What I have found almost overwhelmingly over the last 5 years testing this in our club and other clubs, women are far more responsive. They're far easier to market to, far easier to get on the phone, to get to come in person for a conversation, to even try you out for a free training session or a 3-week promotion. After they train with you for 6 months and become believers, they become part of your following, they will drag their spouse in. Sometimes it will take even longer, 2 or 3 years. And sometimes it will take them embarrassing their spouse on a trip where the husband says, man, I didn't realize how bad a shape I was in. I could not keep up with her on those hikes and those bike rides and whatever it was they did. So suit yourself on that. We have done some marketing to couples, but overwhelmingly what we have found is marketing to women and then letting them bring the spouse along has been far more effective. I still think, sadly, unfortunately, women value their health more. Women value their wellness, their fitness, their physicality, their physical health. They listen to what their doctor tells them. They go to their doctor regularly. They don't believe they're invincible. They know they have to take care of themselves, much more so than men. Men still at 72 years old think, oh, I'm fine. I'm doing just fine. My doctor hasn't told me I need to do anything. When's the last time you've seen your doctor? Oh, 2 years ago. There's still, unfortunately, a bit of that mentality. Not with everyone, of course, but overwhelmingly I see women value their health and wellness much more, and they're willing to pay to invest in it. This is an interesting market segment that I think is growing, and we underestimate it in the fitness industry because we don't know how to measure it very well. And it's sort of the traditional aspect of why so many in the fitness industry think working with cancer survivors and chronic conditions and health issues and dementia and Parkinson's and older folks, oh my goodness, you know they all leave the health club once they turn 50, right? We see this mass exodus around the age of 50, people leaving fitness programs, boot camps, health clubs, all sorts of places. And I don't think it's because those people no longer desire to be fit. I don't think it's because they hit a certain age and they say, I'm good, I don't need to work out anymore. I think it's because they really shift into this market segment of the FitBut category. It's the active and fit for decades, but they're starting to feel their age. They're starting to realize this culture doesn't really fit me. I'm not 22 anymore, and I don't want to run around in my sports bra. I want to be fit and active, but my needs, values, and goals have changed. I don't really want to take that group fitness class where the goal is to just absolutely beat the hell out of everyone in there. And we all have taken that fitness class, right? Where really the goal is whoever vomits first wins the most, right? And you're like, I get to a certain age and I go, you know what? I'm good if I don't puke this workout. I want to work really hard, but I'd rather not puke. I actually really enjoyed my lunch out with my friends today. So their goals have changed a little bit. They want to stay fit. They want to try new things. They're up for trying new things, but they don't want to do crazy anymore. The last thing they want to do is get hurt. I mean, let's face it, we get to a certain age and we go, you know what? I could do without another shoulder surgery and the rehab that comes with it. I've had 2 knee surgeries myself. I don't need to have any more. I'm good. I just assume not do 1,000 jump squats because that sounds like a super hard thing to do in the workout today. They want a place that will keep them fit, but in a safe way. And so I think the fitness industry, there's just a big disconnect because so many places you walk into, it's so much about how hard you're going to work, how much you're going to sweat. We don't even have air conditioning here. I mean, there can be this culture that just doesn't fit, especially the client that has got, in some ways, let's be honest, they're not just mature in age, they're mature enough to go, you know what, this is kind of stupid. Like, I want to work out really hard, I want to exercise, but I don't want to hurt myself. In fact, I can't afford to hurt myself at this stage in my life. I might not bounce back from a knee or shoulder injury, or worse, they've already been hurt in a fitness place, right? They had a trainer that didn't know what to do with them, or they joined that group fitness class that was way too hard and they beat themselves up. And so this is a big market segment. There's really nowhere for them to go if they don't have a safe place that knows how to take care of them. The unfit and the unhealthy, I think I talked about this last week. Joanne's one of my favorite clients of all time. We had her for 7 years. She was not an exerciser, never had been one, very little to no experience with fitness. She had multiple health conditions. She was in that frail to lower independent category, totally worried about her longevity, especially her functional longevity. Am I going to be able to do much of anything? Really worried about severe declines in her health. Now, she had Parkinson's, she was 80, and she was frail to lower independent. I mean, she could barely walk a block without it being completely exhausting. But she wanted to go to the Galapagos Islands, and she was willing to put in the work. She was willing to do the training, the balance work, the strength work, the endurance work, everything it took to be able to walk a mile, to be able to walk on a beach, to be able to climb in and out of those rubberized inflatable Zodiac boats you can see on the beach behind her. So much so, here's the super cool thing, we couldn't get rid of her, right? She trained with us for 6 more years because why would she stop at that point, right? We gave her a new outlook on life and the ability to do things, even just do basic things around the house and around her neighborhood and go to church and, you know, be a active participant in life. You can do those things much better if you have more functional ability. A couple of golfers, adding distance to drives and years to lives. So let's talk about building a culture. Now, you could be a complete solo operator, just you. Well, then it's pretty easy to keep tabs on your culture because you're really the one controlling it. Strong systems and a strong culture are the key to keeping your business running smoothly, even when no one is watching. So if you're not present, does your business still taste, smell, and feel like you? Does it still have the same client satisfaction, client service? You still taking care of people? Are people still getting the functional training you want? Is everything happening in your business regardless of whether you're training the actual client? This is where I think sometimes people get caught up because they're like, well, no one can train like I can train. Well, if that's true, then you're probably the only trainer suitable to train anyone in the entire universe, right? And we all have to realize that's just not true. As great a trainer as I think I might be, I don't train any clients now at all on a weekly basis because I want to have a greater impact. So I have 6 trainers that work for me that train clients the way I want them to be trained, take care of clients the way I want them to be taken care of, check in with clients, follow up with clients, improve, progress clients the way I would want them to. In fact, I tell most people that sign up with me, my trainers are better at training than I am. And they're like, really? But you have a PhD, you're the expert. I said, yeah, but my trainers have been doing this for several years and they do it 40 hours a week. I don't do it at all anymore, right? I'm out of practice. Sure, I could train you. I know the strategies. I teach trainers all the time, but they're doing it every day and they're really good at it and they love it and they're passionate about it. And I've taught them everything that I know. So you want to train with one of my trainers. You wouldn't like my schedule of when I'm available anyway. So you have to think about, if you have a business right now, what are the culture points that aren't working for you? Does your business break down when you're not there? Why does it not run smoothly when you take a day off? If you disappear for 4 hours, do things not get done? Do you have systems in place for phone calls, for follow-up, for email strategies, for client care, for client follow-up, for client renewal, for all the things that your business needs to run smoothly and efficiently? Are all those things happening and in place regardless of whether you're there or not? Those are really critical. And I think it's an unspoken secret of successful studios. It really is, because if the studio is only successful because you're there, then guess what happens? It's only successful when you're there. And so if you get sick If you get hurt, if you have to take a week off, oh my gosh, heaven forbid, you might have to take a vacation. Your business stalls out. It doesn't run well. It's not effective. Your business should allow you to take multiple vacations a year. It really should. It really, really should. Now, it's 2:11. We got about 15 more minutes. I'm going to zip through a handful of things here. Some of these I will cover again when we talk about what's coming in the next 5 to 10 years. You guys can start typing questions in as well, because I want to get to some of those. Cody and I really believe, and COVID has probably brought a little hiccup to this for maybe a year, but we really believe group training is not dead. In fact, we believe it's poised to double in the next 10 years. Now here's why, and when I say Cody, my business partner, co-founder of the Functional Agent Institute, if you don't know him, why we believe it's poised to double. There are more and more baby boomers that are going to jump into personal training. Group training makes it far more affordable. So about 3 times as many people can afford group training than one-on-one personal training. Group training is social. Group training is fun. Group training can offer a lot more time slots. It can be a lot more versatile. I can join a Tai Chi class. I can join a functional strength class. I can join a balance class. All sorts of different training sessions in different variables. So we think it's poised to explode, and it also allows you to have a more profitable and successful business model. So I typically say, if you're a solo trainer and you're worried about hiring people, just focus on getting 50 group training clients at $200 a month. 50 group training clients at $200 a month. You're running a $10,000 a month business. If you look around your market, you can probably rent space for somewhere between $1,500 and $3,500 a month, depending on how big a space and what market you're in. There's a wide range. I know people in Texas can get space for $1,500 to $1,900 a month. And you only need about 1,200 square feet to train groups, 5 to 8 clients at a time. All of a sudden you're like, wait, I have 50 clients. I have to train them 3 times a week. All of a sudden you're only training 20, 25 hours a week. You can handle that all by yourself. And $10,000 a month, if your rent is $3,000 a month, you can get off and rolling with a pretty nice, successful business. Greater specialization is going to be needed in the future. Again, I'm going to cover some of this in the things ahead talk, which is tomorrow, sort of 5 things in the future. Online fitness is here to stay. I said this before COVID. In fact, I put this in this presentation for a keynote I gave last fall. Online fitness is here to stay, but it's not the solution for everyone, and it's not easy. And I think COVID has shown us that. Like, lots of people have jumped online fitness, and they've realized, well, it's not necessarily easy. It's not necessarily easy to do it well, I should say. It's fairly easy to do some sort of online fitness, but to do it really well isn't easy, but can absolutely be done. But don't believe what people are saying, like, oh, everybody's just going to go to online fitness and the brick and mortar is going to be dead. Absolutely not. It's not the solution for everyone. I can tell you, Miracles Fitness, we have about 265 clients. When we reopened our doors after 10 weeks we were shut down, and that was not fun. That was painful. I did not like it. And you know what? When we went to reopen, I didn't like that either. It was like, man, we've been closed so long, I've gotten used to it. We've been training so many people via Zoom, Facebook Lives, other strategies. It's like, oh, we got to reopen. What's that going to look like? We got to take temperatures and wear masks. It's going to be awful. 75% of our clients came back in person within about 45 days. They want the in-person solution. They want to go to a fitness facility. But guess what? There are a lot of people that don't. And there's a lot of people that will take an online fitness strategy. There's a huge opportunity to train boomers and seniors online. We have an 86-year-old client. I'm just going to give you 2 examples. We have an 86-year-old client. She does not feel safe coming back to the facility. She's still paying for 3 times a week, one-on-one training, $550 a month, doing it all via Zoom. And Johnny trains her via Zoom from the studio. She's training in her home. Every once in a while, I'll pop in and say, hey, Joyce, are you doing all your push-ups today? And then we have another client on the other side who's 92 or 93. And Jessie was like, I have got to get back to the facility. She came back May 26th, the day we opened, right? She was like, I've got to get to the facility. I know there's a risk for COVID, but the risk of me not coming to Miracles and working out is too great. And online was not a solution for her. So we have to realize that online will be a solution for some, in person will be a solution for others. Here's an excellent example. Love for you to follow Kelsey Heenan. This is not marketing for boomers, right? I mean, she's obviously appealing to a much younger, leaner, fitter audience, but I love her workouts. I love her programs. She has some stuff that's not as intimidating as this, right? She's an online trainer and she's very, very successful at it. Hitburn.com. You can follow her on Facebook and Instagram. She gives away tons of free workouts on Instagram all the time, right? Here's a 5-minute workout. Here's 5 exercises. Tons of online training she gives away for free. And then of course she sells programs varying from $19 to like $49. And she's got thousands of followers. In fact, she shared one of our Functional Aging Institute Instagram posts and our Instagram following went up by several hundred. So she's got a big, big following. Online training is absolutely a very successful option. Online programs to support your brick and mortar. Obviously, we're now doing that. We're forced to do it, right? I mean, COVID forced so many studios that have been talking about the hybrid model, had been talking about online support, online accountability to, okay, I guess we got to do it. Dr. Nan's been telling me I need to do it. They've been saying it's coming. I should do it. Even with older clients, they need it. They want it. This is going to be here to stay. I think we're going to see moving forward fitness studios that do online accountability, online support, online training programs. I know studios in Florida who are like, you know what? We're now training our clients that disappear for the summer, right? They spend 8 months in Florida avoiding the winter up here in the Midwest. And now we're training them in the summer too, because we have great online summer training programs. They can keep training with us. All right, I'm gonna jump through a couple of these here. Prime Fit content, I think, is a great resource. If you want more info on that, Jake Croft is a professional writer for CNN and some other newspapers, and he's created a company called Prime Fit Content, has done for you written marketing materials, really geared to clients over 50. So I'm gonna jump to questions here in a second. I want you to get hyper-focused on your avatar. Who is she or who is he? My avatar is Terry. She's 59 years old. She's semi-retired, owned her own company for 25 years and has sold it as semi-retired. She's a grandmother. She's got 2 grandkids she wants to spend more time with. She's not fully retired, but she's totally flexible. She's affluent, and she really wants to take care of herself because she wants to live a really long life and be really healthy and be around to enjoy her grandkids growing up. You have to have multiple poles in the water at all times. You got to be reaching them online, email marketing, Facebook marketing, YouTube. You got to be reaching them offline, handing out books, visiting with other business owners, networking events, speaking, finding out their clubs. You have to be doing online and offline lead generation. Have coffee and conversation events once a month. Your clients are not going to refer you, remember, but they will bring their friends to your wine tasting event. They will bring their friends to your seminar. They'll bring their friends to your coffee and conversation hour. So make sure you're doing those things. Be continuously improving. That's why you guys are here all week, right? Become the recognized expert, right? Publish a book, put out a booklet, hire a coach. The opportunity is massive when we look at the traditionalist or silent generation, our traditional seniors, those over 73. There's still 28 million in the US. These are United States numbers only, but it's comparable in other developed countries. The baby boom generation is the largest generation in just about every developed country. We just saw it. World War II ended, peace and prosperity happened in many developed countries, and there was this population explosion. People had 3 and 4 children and basically birthed the largest generation in most developed countries' history. But guess what? The Gen Xers are already turning 50. In fact, in 5 years, the Gen Xers start turning 60. And there's quite a few of them as well. We don't get talked about enough, sadly. Everybody talks about the boomers and the millennials, but the Gen Xers are here too, and we're getting older too. All right, here's the book. fasmarketingbook.com. Now, if you go to fasmarketingbook.com, enter your name and email, you'll get the ebook immediately. But it's going to take you to a page that's going to ask you to enter your credit card so you can buy a $27 presentation from me. Don't do that. Just click the no thank you button. Okay? So fasmarketingbook.com. It is working. Enter your name and email. You're going to have to check your junk mail because that's probably where it'll wind up. And you can get this book literally within the next hour. You'll get the ebook format. Okay. Do not get overwhelmed. This is the mistake I think people make. They think, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. No, you just need to do one thing. Take one step at a time. This is why I recommend this book. 1 hour a day, what can you do? 1 hour a day to build your business. Keep it simple, one step at a time, one contact at a time. We all know approximately 150 people. Most of us are not doing this consistently, systematically. We just discovered it this week at Miracles Fitness. Oh, for some reason, we have not been adding the email addresses that have been coming in from our Facebook leads in July. There was a disconnect. So all of a sudden we're like, whoa, we have 50 names to add to our email list. Great. How many people are not on your email list that should be? How many people are not on your text list that should be? How many people are not on your phone call list that should be? How many people have you not been contacting? Keep it simple. Just start making a list of the tasks you need to do. If this is the first time you've ever heard about building a YouTube or Facebook following, start with one of those. I don't want you to feel like, oh my goodness, I got to build an email list, a text list, a YouTube page, a Facebook. Just start with one thing, do it really well, start building it. When you build an email list to 250, 300 people, now you have something to work with that can help you build your Facebook following. That can help you. You can email those 300 people and say, hey, check out this cool video I posted on YouTube. Please subscribe and share it with all of your friends. So take it one contact, one step at a time. Build your list online. Website opt-ins, Facebook ads, Google AdWords, YouTube videos, Facebook videos, live or not live. All of those things work and work well. Marion attended our first ever FAI Summit in 2015. So I know some of you are burnt out. I'm sure, let's see, how many people do we have on here? 94. Some of you probably on Facebook Live. I'm sure we have at least one person who's burnt out. It's fine if you want to share it in the chat. I'm sure some people are like, you know what, man, this COVID thing, let's be honest, it's not been fun for people in the fitness industry. There has been some tough times. Some of us have been closed for months. Now some of us have a hurricane bearing down on them in Texas and Louisiana. She was totally burnt out. She was working like 12-hour days. She'd been doing that for several years and not getting anywhere. And within less than a year, she pivoted, she changed her strategy, she opened her own studio in the spring of 2016, and she was making more money than she ever made, and she was working less than she ever had. It can be done. We've helped many people do it. She had a list, and then she built more through Facebook ads. She was working 12-hour days because she was going from client's house to gym to studio to community center to another client's house, like 10 different places, all over the place. As a solo trainer, she decided I can't keep running around with my chicken, like a chicken with my head cut off, because I said, really, you have two options, Marion. You have to stop doing what you're doing and completely change it, or you have to do more of what you're doing. And I don't think that's sustainable because you're barely sustaining what you're doing. And so she just blew up the whole thing and said, I'm going to open my own studio. And she's been very successful with that. She's in Vancouver, Washington. Build your list offline. Oh my goodness. This book will give you 20 different ways to do it. Go where your avatar eats, lives, works, and plays. Where does she eat? Where does she live? What neighborhood is she in? What street does she live on? Where does she golf? Where does she play tennis? Where does she play pickleball? Where does she go for hikes? What's her clubs, her charities, her organizations? Pop up at every foundation event and charity auction item. All of a sudden, it's like, wow, you're everywhere, right? Network, network, network. BNI stands for Business Network International, Rotary Clubs, Kiwanis Clubs, Chamber of Commerce. I always say maybe. It really depends on your town or city. Some Chamber of Commerces are good for fitness businesses. Some are not. Probably depends on the size of your city and your market, and probably depends on if your chamber's active. Social capital. I'm going to close with this, and I'll do questions here for just a few minutes. Social capital is key for a fitness business. Social capital is really the financial strength and dollars in your social network. The Functional Agent Institute, by and large, runs on social capital. Andrea and I got together and said, hey, let's run a free week of education for FAI and CETI. And that's due to relationships that we have built over time, right? How many businesses run on social capital? How many business owners do you know? How many referral partners do you know, like, and trust? I don't think that you can trust your clients to refer business to you, but you can trust a chiropractor that you know, like, and trust, that you send business to and they send business to you. You can do that with a physical therapy clinic. You can do that with a physician. You can do that with a custom pharmacy. We have one down the road that gives away our book. You can trust referral partners. How many do you know, like, and trust? So don't be the lonely business owner. Be the business owner that's well connected. I had lunch with my insurance agent last week. I had lunch with my banker today. How many other business people are you connecting with on a weekly basis? You need to be doing that. Social capital is huge. More ways to build your list offline: coffee and conversations. Beth Pelton does this every month at her studio in Iowa. Have seminars, have lunch and learns at people's places of work. Create an event, get someone to sponsor it, offer lunch, and then make you the keynote speaker. How fabulous is that? There's all sorts of parties, events, caregiver events, charity events, fundraisers, auctions, gift cards, senior fairs, you name it. I know I was going to get to your questions. I am running out of time. Be like Banana George Blair. Don't wait for the next thing to happen. Make it happen. You've got to build your list every single week. Your future clients are in that list, whether it's a phone call list, a mailing list, an email list, a text list, a Facebook following. Your future clients are coming from that list, so you have to be building it and building it every week. You don't have to be building it every hour, right? You can commit Thursday afternoons to list building. You don't have to be building it every hour, every day, but every week you have to be tending your list and building your list. Be generous in your community. Make sure people know that you're giving back. So I made a fool of myself in the pink hard hat because Habitat for Humanity is really clever. They give you a pink hard hat, and then they say if you raise $250 or more, you get to keep it. If you raise less, you have to give it back. Okay, challenge accepted. We raised $2,700. If you can get on the local news, you immediately become this local trusted authority as seen on CBS, right? I don't know why that is, but it's still the case. So even with our lack of trust of media and news outlets, it's still a very valuable thing. All right, I'm going to wrap up with that. Stop sharing here and look at your questions. So I think I already answered the workbook question, Stephanie. There is a download document in the Facebook group. Mary, how do you price group training versus classes, and to get those people involved in group training if they're used to classes? Well, it depends on your facility, Mary. That's probably a more in-depth question. Our studio only offers one-on-one training and small group training. We don't really offer classes like Tai Chi and large group fitness, but at certain fitness facilities, obviously they would be different price points. At most training studios, you're not going to have space for large group fitness classes, or if you do, have the large space, you're going to obviously price that appropriately. So, you know, large group training of 18, 20 clients might be $79 or $99 a month, whereas small group training obviously is going to be more like $200 to $250 a month. Carol, 65-year-old OT with a 21-year-old son at the peak of professional efficacy, rehabbing folks with moderate cognitive deficits, shifting to wellness, brain health. Awesome. Love this community. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a huge opportunity. Looking for a side gig to create a second career. Is this program for me? Don't want to deal with insurance, need mentoring to stay in the wellness client scope of practice. If you want to work on the fitness side, then this program could definitely be for you. And really, insurance, you don't have to deal with insurance. You can do cognitive fitness, you know, neuro, ortho, medical fitness, all these things. You can do all this as a cash business. And based on your experience as an OT, I'm sure you could command a high hourly rate and probably get plenty of medical referrals being an OT. And you don't have to be an insurance-based business. Some physical therapists and chiropractors have gone exclusively cash-based because they don't want to deal with insurance reimbursement. Yeah, so I'm not sure, YP, Yives Paul, I'm not sure to say your first name. Culture is so vague and abstract, I find it difficult to properly define. Yeah, I would say places that don't have a clearly defined culture, in a lot of cases, don't have one. We tend to know places that have a clearly defined culture because it stands out to us. So at Miracles Fitness, it's pretty clear pretty quickly that we're very much about specialized one-on-one service, and we're very much about serving people 50 plus. You see that very quickly. We're very much about functional fitness and not very much about equipment. We're very much about a professional, private atmosphere and not a large group culture of lots of people running around, right? It's a by appointment facility. We're a culture of taking care of you. Everyone is taken care of. And so there are obviously a wide range of cultures across clubs. Mary, what are your thoughts of offering training at a client's home? Totally fine with it, Mary. I think right now with COVID, you have to be cautious and careful, probably more so for the client than even yourself. I know trainers that are doing it, and they're being careful how they do it, and they have procedures, and you know they maintain social distancing, and in some cases they're wearing a mask. The trainer's wearing a mask the whole time. So there are ways you can still train in clients' homes. Of course, I prefer you probably train in clients' homes in an outdoor space if possible, but that's not going to be possible once winter comes, and so we're going to have to be creative. Roy, marketing to the 60 plus women. I'll talk a little bit more about it tomorrow, but there are so many ideas I think I gave there at the end. I ran through a bunch of different strategies. We could probably spend an hour just on Facebook ads alone. Facebook ads are extremely effective to women 60 plus, for sure. Roger, is group training A, group exercise classes, or B, small group personal training? Great question. I love it because I don't like the term class. In fact, at our fitness facility, we don't use the word class. We call everything personal training. At Miracles Fitness, you can do personal training in a small group or one-on-one. And the small group is going to be a max of 6 clients. Some facilities go a max of 4 clients. Some go up to 8 clients. I think once you get above 8 clients, it's not really a small group anymore. And then with small group training, we have training time slots. So 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m. We used to have them every half hour. With COVID, we're now doing them every hour. So we don't have people coming and going and 6 people standing in the lobby waiting for 6 people leaving. So we've reduced some of our time slots. Stephanie, may I speak to you later about some numbers you mentioned when you referred to Texas? You threw out some numbers as an example. Individual, yeah, Stephanie, absolutely. Reach out, contact at Functional Agent Institute. Tell Celia you'd like to schedule a call. Be happy to talk specific numbers with you. Lori, we just opened our newest location and have a lot of Facebook followers. How do we get their emails for our list? Awesome. Give them something so cool, Lori, that they would want to give you their email, right? So that could be a free book. It could be a free training session. It could be a free month of personal training. Hey, for all of our Facebook followers who sign up, everyone's going to get 2 free weeks of personal training. You want them to come in and try your facility anyway, but they have to give you their email to do that. So give them something super cool that they want to give you their email. That could be a free report. It could be a recipe guide. It could be a free, I don't know, a free lunch at a nearby restaurant. It could be, come up with some creative ways. What would you do, Lori, to give me your email, right? Well, I tell you what, if you go to fasmarketingbook.com right now and you give me your email, I'll give you this book for free. See how that works? So you have to do something like that to get people to go, oh yeah, I'll give you my email to get 2 free weeks of training, or to win 2 free months of training. You might get 100 people that sign up for 2 free months of training, and then you have 1 winner. April, you're welcome. Cheryl, yeah, absolutely. I recorded it. Stephanie, the Facebook group, email us, Stephanie. The Facebook group is not FAI, it's CETI FAI Kickstart. It's this whole week that we're doing. There's a Facebook group there for everyone who's on this webinar. We're giving you some more resources there. I put the links to this book there. Brian, how can you get a copy of the Never Grow Old book? This one is only a physical book that we mail. Again, if you email contact@Functional Aging Institute, give us your mailing address. I'd be happy to have one of my trainers mail you out a copy. That would be my pleasure. All right, I got to run, folks. We will see you tomorrow for the next 5 big things to prepare for. So we'll see you then. If you have other questions that I didn't get to, post those in the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, you need to get in the Facebook group. If you're like, I don't know where the Facebook group is, email us, contact@functionalaginginstitute.com. We'll get it to you. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.